Where Kat, what's our number total from accepted? Because we're now at about 158.
It's like half.
Okay.
Let's start. I mean, people will come in, they'll straggle. You can just let them in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining. Very excited to have you here. I'm David Mirsky, your CEO, and we've been looking forward to holding this call for quite a while, as you know. And so the agenda is we're going to try to keep this simple and very interactive, and we're looking to leave about half the time we've allotted of about the hour now for questions and answer. We're going to be monitoring questions and sort of identifying the most popular topics, and we'll try to get to as much as we can, and then we'll take other questions in and see if we run out of time or there are things that come up afterwards, we'll be able to address after this, either in a group setting or an individual setting. We'll figure that out. So the concept is to kind of give everyone an overview of where we're at, where we've come from, introduce the Lifetime team, and talk about products, the market, where we're going, and not anything in too much detail. We're looking to keep it light and lively and keep everyone involved. So, as everyone knows, some of you shareholders that I've talked to over the last months have been in the stock, are brand new into the company, and others have been with us for years and have fortunately experienced the rise from trip one to where we're at today, hovering around 2,000% up and holding, which is great. And what that's done essentially is opened up the platform for the company to be able to not only bring on the Lifetime team, but develop new products and put together a platform so that we'll be able to bring the NoHo products to life and essentially build a sustainable brand with phenomenally formulated products to bring to the market. And so all the new excitement and the expansion of the shareholder base over the last number of months has really laid the groundwork for us to be able to execute this plan. So as you know, we're essentially pre-revenue. We've got the company current with the financials. We have engaged Farber Haas and Hurley as our new auditors, and they're getting underway. And we're coming into a new quarter. We're going to be posted in the next couple of weeks, and we're off to the races. In terms of new product and our Lifetime, the Lifetime team can go into that in more detail and about the market. But we will have product in a couple of weeks, and we're very excited to unveil the new website to everybody and have product ready for order and delivery. A couple of questions that have come up recently on the shareholder side is that I'll address briefly is we're getting a lot of comments. So what are you looking to do with the stock? And are we looking to do a reverse split? In response to that, we don't have anything planned at the moment. Nothing envisioned that is imminent. Having said that, we're not taking anything off the table. And the way I'd like to address that concern is that most of you, I'm assuming, have had the experience of having these, especially in the OTC, of having a lot of companies raise money through toxic convertible debt, have the stock get severely pressured in terms of price, and only to find that the dilution that results from that is then followed by a reverse split so that the company can do a similar rinse and repeat. That is absolutely not what NoHo is going to be doing. In terms of the outstanding shares that we're looking at now, we're
recording in progress.
9 billion shares. For those that are new to the company and may not know, When I came into the company and took over the helm in 2016, there were 64 billion shares issued. When I came in, I took over the control block from the outgoing management that represented 54 billion shares, and I immediately retired those shares. So with no split whatsoever, so totally organic. And that was really the first step in trying to get the turnaround going. So, and since that point, we have not issued. So it is, however, unwieldy. It's a lot of shares, especially relative to financing opportunities that we have and institutional money that we have spoken to. And so my response to that is, if we entertain something like a split in the future, we are going to do it in conjunction with a solid foundation that we've established in the company with revenue, so that we're not looking to take on debt, absolutely accomplish nothing, and then look to continue to issue shares while we also continue to not execute the plan. So if you put revenue into the company responsibly, and we're going to allude to Lifetime is going to be handling a good amount of this call, we're going to show you what we're doing, what they've done in the past. And the approach then is to say, if we restructure in a very healthy way and bring in revenue as we do it, we are not anticipating to see the pressure on stocks that you've seen in previous split situations. Having said that, we don't have anything that planned at this time in that regard at the moment. And so we're not taking anything off the table, but that's the fullest answer I think we can provide. I'm happy to elucidate on that if questions come up with some more detail. I'm going to introduce the Lifetime team in a second, but prior to that, in the new financials that are coming out, you're going to see that like we have put in $600,000 of new capital into the Lifetime team in the creation of the brand build-out, architecture, product design, and development of the aftershot that's coming out, and new products that are line extensions that are soon to follow. So with that, I'm going to introduce Eric Stoll, who you're seeing, Kevin Williams, who's on the call, and Katya Grober, who's head of marketing too here, and she's doing the administrative work and has helped us immensely in all facets, as we are a lean machine at NoHo at the moment, and we're accomplishing a lot with a relatively small staff, but we're a dynamo and able to really accomplish a lot in just the short months that we've been really back up in operation. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Eric and Kevin, and we'll talk about where we're going, and we'll start to monitor questions and start coming back to, we'll start to answer them sort of in the second half. So with that, I'm gonna mute for a moment and hand it off to the phenomenal Eric Stoll of Lifetime Branding.
Scary. First of all, I appreciate everybody's participation. David and I actually, what did we go back, 28, almost 30 years. It's pretty amazing to be part of this, and he and I sort of finding our footing and coming together is nothing short of what I think is going to be one of the most exciting parts about this opportunity. First of all,
hold on, sorry. Let me introduce Jim Studdeher. Sorry, forgot to introduce Jim. Here's Big Jim of prominence. His reputation precedes him. Yeah. So we've disclosed Jim as a director. Sorry, just want everyone to know Jim is here. We also have our securities and general counsel, Carl Rano, who's on the line as well.
Nice to see you all.
Okay, Eric, go ahead. Sorry.
No problem. So I'm going to talk for a little bit, and then I'm going to introduce my partner, Kevin Williams. He and I have worked together for close to 20 years, you know, and again, we'll go into lifetime. Katya, as much as David throughout the administrative part, is nothing short of brilliant. We're lucky to have sort of the synapse between Kevin and myself, who handle both the sort of branding, creative, and vision from the research and analytics. And Kat is very integral in connecting all of the dots, not to mention most 99% of the content you see coming out of Lifetime will have been built by Kat and the team, but phenomenal resource. We have resources all over the country. With our experience and backgrounds working with some of the biggest brands in the world, Coca-Cola, Titleist, Nike, Converse, you know, we can go on and on. You know, our job here is to deliver, you know, the best brand, a lifetime brand has long-term and short-term, you know, but long-term sustainability. I'm going to back up a little bit and just talk about, this will probably be the last time we all get to, you know, we're on a call and we're discussing this verbally. I think by the next time we have a call like this, we'll have relaunched NOHO. That's really exciting. Who knows? Maybe everybody here will be invited to the first NOHO party where we all are going to need to try the shot the day later. So, you know, maybe that's an aspirational element here. But Lifetime is about building brands and connecting with the right consumer, again, for long-term success. We're not about just putting another product on the shelf. You're going to see that all over the globe these days. Everybody comes out and says, hey, we have the next you know, hair loss treatment. We're going to cure this situation, or you know, guess what? Our apparel is the best. We're about delivering and working with companies that have real value in the science and ingredients and manufacturing processes, the core team, which is really important. It's another reason we got involved and helping that. Our investigative processes, not just in building brands, but in partnerships, go beyond that of an agency. We're here to help build value for all of this, you know, for all of our products, and for you guys. And we're very well aware of it. We're not just a creative agency that has, you know, 60 years of experience and insights. We understand that we're trying to build value here for every single shareholder. And that's critical to our long-term success as well, because otherwise we don't have jobs. And so, you know, we're one of you very much as well. You know, our process very much, and we have a long history of bringing brands like NOHO that wasn't necessarily dormant or you know, it didn't necessarily, you know, go away per se, but bringing brands like that to life that may have had a misstep, and look at what the opportunity is in the market to say, here's really our core values and here's our opportunity. And when I look at this marketplace and having been the head of creative for Converse footwear when Nike purchased them, and knew what it take to take a $500 million brand at the time and go to 2.5 billion. That process takes a lot of grueling, sleepless nights to roll up your sleeves and get it done. NOHO, it has a tremendous opportunity, and what we're so excited about is we're going to remain unapologetically fun and cool. I mean, when we go to market, we're going to be in your face, and we're going to be part of you know, current culture, pop culture. And we're going to grasp on all sorts of really fun opportunities. So we're going to drive a ton of excitement. We're not going to be a brand that's going to be ho-hum. So we're really excited because the market opportunity is massive. And my partner Kevin's going to go into some of those details. But we are, one of our brands, and knowing the shot and beverage category, and our website is live, but Coca-Cola Northeast. Here's again a great example of, we came in, Coca-Cola is made up of 60 some odd bottlers, Coca-Cola North America. We're Coke Northeast. We're probably, we won an award last year as the #1 bottler for Coca-Cola in the country. That was us coming in, assessing the market in the Northeast, and rebuilding the brand from head to toe, and making sure that that entire demographic, the geographic area that we're marketing to, understood that, and they go into this competition with every other Coca-Cola bottler in the country. And so that's the type of research and work that we do. We are very savvy when it comes to startups. I actually owned and started Super Candy, which ended up going to 33,000 doors nationally from a retail. Very savvy direct to consumer, but we also launched successfully in Japan, Canada, and Mexico. Our team has a lot of global experience. Again, Converse, Nike, Titleist, FootJoy. We were agency of record for Titleist gear for 3-4 years. We, again, going back to the startup, there's beef jerky brand called Perky Jerky. We took from 0 to 30 million, which is very exciting. And then there's, the supplement category, which we're talking about dietary supplements with a product like NoHo, where we've worked with brands like Gaia Herbs, which is probably the #1 brand at Whole Foods, where we've been able to 4x their sales based on the work that we've done in our processes. Kevin, and am I missing any on that front?
Well, supplement brands, we've probably worked with almost 3 dozen brands, small to global ones such as Country Life, Twin Lab, and a number of others. So you can appreciate the kind of scope and scale that we've done. But at the same time, what Eric is saying is the level of discipline that we bring to some of these bigger organizations, we also bring into these startups, because they, in many respects, require that level of discipline to get off the ground and see a return on investment immediately. So, he mentioned Gaia. They were merely like 12 million when we started with them. They had an investor group come in, and with the hope of getting a 3x on gross sales in 5 years, and we delivered 4x in 3 years. So they're very happy with that. And that comes from really an aggressive due diligence, an investigative process of getting into the market, really understanding the dynamics, not the top line, and identifying where that unique opportunity stands, and then building not only a brand, but a campaign and a business plan that can deliver. And this is really where a combination of our efforts can start to build up the opportunity for what we see for NoHo.
So on a couple of Kevin's points, our insights and our ability to do that investigative research and pull the insights away is what makes Lifetime special, is creating an authentic, ownable position in the market that allows us to be a leader. And then what you guys will see going forward is being a leader from product development to brand activation to just the creative energy around the brand, the voice. We want to stand for something. We want to create meaningful value. So again, we're not going to be about putting crap on the marketplace. We're launching with our Aftershot. We're going to be following up very shortly with an immune booster, an energy shot, and a lot of other exciting opportunities. And we're going to maintain a very aggressive position in building an exciting brand that you want to wear as a badge. I'm going to drop this off to Kevin at this point. I do. we just have this, real depth of knowledge within the space. I mean, Lifetime does focus, and it, again, our history says, our case studies on our site, they really articulate this, but the health and wellness, the fitness space. And so having some experience, working within the confines of the Nike organization and knowing how you build a, top, an A-list, a prototype brand, that's where we focus. I'm just going to share a quick video that we got yesterday. It's just sharing our displays that are actually coming off of the market as we speak. I hope everybody gets a chance to see this because it is a video. If not, I'm sorry, but here is the NoHo display being printed. It's going through this process now. And let's see here, hold on. So you can see this cut. And that's going to be the boxes when all of you, especially the people who were first to the site for our sort of early adopters, that's going to be the box that the product is shipped in. Very excited. All the products filled. We're ready to go. And again, I really appreciate everybody's participation today. Kevin, why don't you take it away?
Okay, thank you. So Eric touched upon a number of things. What I want to do is just take you through what this market opportunity looks like. And as I mentioned, we've worked with a number of brands. We've had success with brands in markets that have flat or even contraction, and been able to turn around the businesses, develop a high level of return on their investment, drive growth and continuity. And that's at the end of the day, what Eric's talking about with the excitement is building relevance to a targeted consumer segment, that people will want to buy this product, feel like it reflects who they really are, and start telling other people. And that's where our growth starts to develop. And then they come back for more. This gives us permission to start extending our product portfolio into new offerings and continually grows from there. So I started with that statement of flat or even contracting category, because I want to give you a couple. I think I'm getting some echoing here. Can you all hear that?
Yeah, there's some echo. Just started.
I don't have that.
All right, somebody may need, you have to put your computer on mute just so that it doesn't make it so everybody can hear okay, or it kind of reverberates. So I'm going to show a couple of slides about where this category is and why this is such an exciting time and opportunity to be stepping in for this, for the business as it stands right now. So if you bear with me a moment. Okay. Okay. So what you see, is a hangover recovery market globally is growing exponentially. So where we talked about flat markets, there is explosive growth in this category, which is a great time to be stepping in, representing a lot of opportunity. 2020 sales are at 1.4 billion with a projected growth of being at 3 billion by 2025, 4 years from now. That's 15% CAGR. I mean, a lot of categories have 3%. So we're looking at a 5-fold rate of growth, which is hugely exciting. With that, we look at the US market in particular, all right? And you can see what is almost like a hockey curve going up as far as the projected growth from where we are to date to where we're looking at to get to 2025. They're projecting 17.4% annual growth, with a total growth of 190% between now and then. And we feel like that we are an opportunity to gain a percentage of that, which would translate to a great amount of revenue and value back to the business and shareholders. Now, these numbers, just to be clear, were based on 2019, 2020 metrics. And what's happened since then, as we can all appreciate, is we went through COVID, and that changed the market dynamic. One of the big things was that alcohol consumption went up 54% in that time frame. Now, whether that's sustained is not really known as we all go back into the post-COVID environment, assuming that we are. But we can anticipate that a certain percentage of it will be, which will directly correlate that these numbers may be considered conservative. So we have a great opportunity here for entering into a market that's kind of on the threshold of growing and bringing something that can really create a difference. I want to talk a little bit then about, okay, if we know the market's growing, who are we going to go after? And who is this audience within the category? And that'll bring us to this slide, our consumer. So what we did is, as we began to look at the market and pull the research, we were able to pull together an understanding of who binge drinks. Because at the end of the day, we are talking about hangover and hangover recovery. And that tends to come after some pretty heavy consumption.
Hey, Kevin, let me interrupt you for a second. David, am I missing this, or are we seeing the presentation, or are you seeing the main slide as the focus in the sharing?
I mean, we're seeing the slide but we're
You're
seeing the
seeing everything
presentation.
around it, correct?
Yeah.
Kev, are you on?
I'm on HR consumer.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying if we can, from the last time that we reviewed this, we're seeing all the slides, so I think it's tough for people.
So I thought this was on presenter view. Okay.
Yeah, it's just your view.
Let me just change
Sorry,
that.
everybody, we're just gonna, yeah, there you go.
All right.
And if you can you should be able to do your, slide presentation. There you go. Thanks.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna escape that for a minute. That makes it a little less.
There you go, bud.
Zoom to a couple pages. Okay. So what we've discovered about this consumer segment, and this doesn't come as a shock, I'm sure you may all have jumped to similar conclusions, is that the highest percentage of binge drinking alcohol consumption is usually between the ages of 18 and 34. And with a slightly higher level of the 25 to 34 segment, and this is percentage of US adult population, the highest segment being with men. So women are at or below 1% in that segment. So we know our audience is going to be young males, but we're going to focus on the 25 to 34-year-old. And the reason for that is, one, we don't necessarily want to be in a position where we're marketing a product like this to underage drinkers. But secondarily is that we see a unique opportunity in who these people are and what they're looking for at the stage of life that they're in. That really gives us the opportunity to start creating that unique relationship, show them we have not only a solution, but we're reflecting back to them what they aspire to be in life. And so a little profile on this consumer that we're going to be going after is average age, 28, single, male, has an income of around 55 plus. So he's a young, upwardly mobile professional within the segment, college educated around a bachelor's degree. He's at what we call the discovery life stage in his life. Post-college, pre-marriage. This is when, a lot of that excitement and meeting people and discovering who you are as an individual as you start to move into, before you move to that next stage of higher level of responsibility. Considers himself fun, impulsive, while being responsible to his obligations of his job and his friends. So that's a critical element right there, that as much as he wants to go out and have the opportunity and know that there's a lot of excitement happening and is out with friends and willing to just do whatever, at the same time, he knows in the morning when he gets up, whatever commitment he's made is going to live up to. And that's where we come in. We meet those two worlds. We celebrate the excitement, but we're there to deliver the quality of the kind of support that he needs to be able to get up and move on to the next day. So we recognize him as being socially active, out with dinners with friends, dating, going out to clubs, social gathering, traveling, and At the same time, from a self profile, he's into exercise, is conscious of diet, may take supplements to improve performance versus health, enjoys outdoor activities. So this is how we start to build this profile around who we're speaking to. And then, as Eric was talking about, he begins to translate that into an experience that drives consideration and allows us to build a whole marketing campaign to pull sales in. Okay, let's move to. All right. So what we've developed, the product offering, the key lead offering for NOHO and the shot, the after shot, is for a rapid morning recovery, because we know that is what the experience they're looking for. They want to be healthy, they want to be dynamic, but they know when they get up in the morning and things aren't exactly the way they need to be, they want to be able to be ready to perform or to get out fast. So what's unique here is this is going to be the first hangover recovery that features hydronanoscience, where we're encapsulating in water clusters our key nutrients so that they are immediately absorbable into the bloodstream and even into the cells for immediate cellular metabolism. What that means in some technical talk is that when you take this, the experience you're going to feel is going to be much faster than any other shot on the market. So when you're looking for that recovery, the clarity, the energy, and even hydration for when you get going and prepare your body to be able to absorb more fluids, we'll be able to deliver that faster and better than anybody else. We're very excited.
Real quick, guys, is a good time to touch on too the teams, the scientists, the PhDs we have brought into the fold here. Again, we talked about resources, both manufacturing, product development, product design, ingredient research, staying ahead of the curve and starting to build this brand at the onset with, the smarter technology, the faster absorption, the ability to make sure that the product delivers on its promise and its positioning, and that's key. And again, the teams that are working with us behind the scenes, creating proprietary formulas, are second to none. These are individuals, some of them were worked with the Wrigley Corporation for 30 years and developed some of the products you engage in on a daily basis, and so on and so forth, and specialize in functional foods and beverages and supplements. And it not only, again, does Lifetime focus in that category, but the teams that we've assembled to create the products are they're phenomenal, very well recognized in the field. We're going to be working with all sorts of different voices, faces, and other personalities to continue to identify what we have and that it works.
Right, and then from there we will have we're going to use the aftershot as the foothold to gain access to the market. And then from there, as we mentioned before, we're going to start to expand the portfolio into a number of other offerings that are in the lifestyle of this consumer, what they're looking for. That gives us permission, based on the success that we established with the aftershot, to go into other parts and need states that they're already having. So we'll have an energy shot. We're looking at a hydration drink or sport hydration drink because for their activities. Potentially a Kratom Focus shot, and then even under a sub-brand Radiate Life, Delta 8.
Yeah, and I see some questions coming in on Delta 8. I'll get to that. I see that's coming up quite a bit.
So do we want to go at this point, David? Do we want to go into a Q&A?
Yeah, if Kev, if you're ready, unless you had something else you wanted to finish up, or you had some more there, but we're rounding the time to get into the Q&A. If you're good. Are you good, Kev?
I am.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. That was very well done. Okay, so here's what we're looking at here. I'm getting some questions about Stellar Chemical, which a lot of shareholders are shareholders and have been exposed to Sabonic. So we understand that the Stellar deal is a Sabonic deal. So I don't really want to get off the NOHO train in that regard. But given the interplay, I feel it's necessary to address it. Diligence is still being done there with regard to the accounting and the financial diligence at this time. So we're heavily involved in it at the moment. With regard to warrants, there's another conversation or a lot of questions coming up. There will be a particular day that will be the day that all holders of record will be eligible for the warrants. We will be announcing that well in advance. There are some securities issues regarding the timing and the announcement, so we will be addressing it as first and foremost on the agenda of management, so it has not been forgotten at all, and everyone will have plenty of advance notice as to when that is, so there's not to worry about when you have to be in the stock or what that particular magic date will be. Getting a lot of questions on Delta 8. So right now at the moment, what we're doing in Delta 8, we are producing a few products. Am I coming up? Okay, yeah. Here's a pod. Here's one example of a pod that we are doing in Delta 8 that we are filling and manufacturing in-house right here in this facility, mere feet from where we're holding the call. So this is a disposable vape pod. We have a couple of other options. This is a 0.5 gram. Is this being seen full screen though? Anyway, this is a full gram pod, which is also rechargeable. There's a lot more material, so that you'd have to do one recharge while in the course of the usage of this device. And then we've got a variety of gummies that we're doing that are all Delta 8 based. The murky legal situation with regard to Delta 8 is such that at the moment, we are comfortable moving ahead on Delta 8 production and sales, despite the fact that the DEA has come out and issued their interim final rule regarding Delta 8 remaining a controlled substance, a Schedule 1. There is simply no basis for that position. It's not tenable. It has no legal basis, and we're hearing that there's no enforcement going on from the federal level. If there is a perceived loophole in the manufacturability of Delta 8, then that's going to have to be addressed in some revision of the Farm Bill at the federal level or some new piece of legislation. The greater threat to the market on Delta 8 now is coming from individual states. And right now, I think there are 14 states that are no-go states, either by pre-existing law or new statutes that are being enacted. They still do not represent a significant percentage of population that really significantly impacts the viability in terms of total accessible market for the product. So we are continuing to develop product and get it out to the market. In conjunction with that, the USPS, Postal Service, has retracted the ban that they had put in place temporarily on the ability to ship vape products. So that's very good news for everybody. So in terms of viability, we're hearing, are you looking at 7-Eleven? Just type distribution is coming up in the questions. The answer is yes. C-Store is certainly on the market. The Lifetime guys can jump in on that if you want, but the answer is yes. And we are still very much committed to Delta 8 and continuing to develop those products.
I can, David, if you want real quick, because we did not get into that.
Sure.
And that's a really good question. And, my apologies for us skirting that. Our go-to-market strategy right now is going to be strictly direct to consumer. We have an incredible wealth of knowledge and experience around merchandising, working with retailers and being and taking advantage of foot traffic at the point of sale with every major retailer. We've done massive deals with Costco, Walmart, Whole Foods, Target, C-store channels, the drug channel from Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, so on and so forth. So we understand the intricacies of playing the retail game. The market and the landscape has changed in that you've got to develop this a very loyal following, through your direct consumer and your social following, because unless we pull down, a Mark Wahlberg tomorrow, which is not out of the question, there is, it's a very hard game to play, again, pre-revenue. I think what's really exciting is, again, the next time we have this conversation, we're going to be talking about understanding exactly who's purchasing our product based on everything that Kevin said. Here's what the research says. But once you have, a quarter, half a year of sales, then we go into dissecting the analytics of exactly who and where and when and the usage of what's happening with NoHo. And then we change or alter our marketing philosophy to capitalize on the faster turns. So we're going to focus on direct-to-consumer activation, and then we're going to start thinking about retail once we've amassed the right equity in the brand from purely a consumer standpoint.
Right, and just to build on that, what Eric said, I mean, one, this is a safer approach because it puts less risk exposure to the business as a direct result. Also, the market has shifted, as he had said, dramatically. 3 years ago, 15% globally of the hangover recovery was bought online. Now in the US, it's up to 40%. So this is not limiting an opportunity at all. It's given us a chance to prove out the concept, refine, and establish, as he said, a great proposition to the retailer sets and starting to open new doors of distribution.
That is a huge element to this partnership. Our experiences with brands, like I said, understanding the retail play, what's sitting in the cooler with our experience with Coca-Cola. When you go to a Dick's Sporting Goods all the way to your local C-store, how are we set up? The merchandising of the box, where our 6-pack, that has been designed to take up the perfect amount of shelf space at a Whole Foods because of its ingredient profile being all natural, all the way to a Walmart or the checkout at a Ralph's or any number of markets where we fit into their merchandising philosophy. And we'll be taking this into account every step of the way, where we're launching something today, but it's built again for every channel of retail and direct to consumer. And not to mention all sorts of other different partnerships, whether we talk to entities like the PGA or, a number of potential ambassadors out there where you have, a lot of social equity where this product sits. So
we're looking at that as
Go ahead.
staged process, as you just illustrated. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 1 direct, phase 2 more of a traditional distribution model, and then even looking beyond that to global markets where there's an extreme pickup for these kind of products. Korea and Japan has the highest percentage of growth in hangover recovery at this time, so we'd be looking at that as a phase 3.
There are questions coming in about, are we looking to expand the market internationally?
And that hasn't been fully vetted yet, but we're looking at opportunities everywhere.
We where that works is we're going to be teaming up at some point with mass market distribution partners, and that's a very critical stage of the company when you have the right revenue to make sure that you can work with either a licensee abroad or a distribution partner. All of these things are very much in play. Like I said, the brand has the opportunity, because when you set up the foundation of a brand, and positioning it with strength is what we're doing. We create the opportunity to do anything we want that we feel is going to create real value. Again, there's brands, and I said this at the onset of this conversation, people don't think like this. They don't have the experience. They don't have the understanding of how our brand is going to speak to different multiple cultures. And, you have to deal with that when it comes down to your color palette, all right down to the vocabulary. So these are things that, again, we have a tremendous amount of experience in, and it's exciting because the brand is set up for, like I said, long-term success.
We're getting some questions about social media and influencers. We are talking preliminarily with a significant, I don't know if we'd say influencer, but someone who has about a couple million follower base on Instagram in gambling, who's looking to develop a product through Lifetime's developmental capabilities and for us to brand and potentially co-launch. So we are in the middle of that. So that's an example, again, how the Campus Co, which we haven't touched on, would come into that, where we've got a potentially new brand looking to come in to build something for a particular audience. In this particular case, they've got a very, very big following, and we are pursuing that at the moment.
So, David, just to touch on that, all right, because this is a huge strategic move that a lot of brands get involved with. Finding the right ambassador, meaning like the face of the brand. Let's just go into the Jennifer Aniston Smart Water. That is a tremendous deal to put in place, and to put something like that in place, you need to make sure that what this person is given to create create transactions, create volumes, create purchases is worth it. What is interesting about what David is saying is that this is now the age of the social media maven, where you could have an unknown commodity with 1 billion followers, 1 billion YouTube views, that has a lot more power because their influence in the market is a lot more powerful than Jennifer Aniston, even though she's the celebrity. So we're going to be looking at that very carefully. It is absolutely part of the plan. But right now, when we look at who our influencers are and where we're going to put this product in the hands of people who can, again, drive sales, we're going to be scouring all of social media, and we're going to be very present, very active in all the channels.
Okay. Copper One, right? Copper One, we have engaged some top-end formulators. Copper One is an ingredient that we have a licensing agreement on as a raw material that is somewhat rare in terms of access to that product and the form of the copper that it's in. It's on the list, and we are looking at it very heavily in the immune category. We're not putting out a timetable on when the development of that product or what that product may be at the time, but in terms of immunity, it's very big on our radar, and we've alluded to that a little bit before. And so Copper One, yes, is featuring heavily in that conversation. Another question that's coming up is green energy. We are at the early stages. I don't want to go too far into it because it's not appropriate yet at this point. But it is a company that is in revenue, that has significant patents that are already issued, that we are talking to for a capital raise and a significant equity participation, which would be a technology that's available in the manufacturing space, rural and off-grid environments, as well as urban environments for low-cost energy that is based out of wind technology. We'll say that. I don't want to go too far into it. As we get deeper into the transaction and it becomes viable, we'll make further announcements on that. It's certainly it's a departure from obviously the retail categories that we're focusing on right now. But in terms of our contacts in manufacturing, that's a technology that could feature very heavily, and that because of the explosion in the interest in NOHO, makes the capital raise for that project very much, puts it very much on the table. Let's see what else is coming that we might be able to hit on. Distribution website launch. Eric, I don't know, I don't want to put out a date at this second, but we're getting a lot of questions about that, so I'll let you take that.
Okay, we're really right around the corner. So we're finalizing development. We're finalizing what'll be a pre-launch, and so I would say everybody keep your eyes open for the news. It's coming fast. So you probably will hear something within the next 10 days. So
Okay.
it's very exciting. And
that's good.
Yeah, we're going to be moving very fast, guys, on that. So there's going to be a lot of evolution in this brand.
There's also some questions about a partnership that seems natural with an alcohol brand. Eric's, I don't want to go into that. I'll let you go as far as you want, but Eric's doing work, significant work in an alcohol brand. Maybe you want to touch on that and the potential.
So
ability.
There's, brand partnerships and collaborations with like-minded brands. Again, to share an example, we did this all the time at Nike and Converse. But recently there's a scrubs brand out there called Figs, and they have a deal with New Balance to create a Figs footwear that goes along with the scrubs that medical professionals would be wearing. So it becomes the uniform. Doing brand collaborations in that capacity, when you start bringing in alcohol, there's a ton of regulatory work that has to be done. We're in a really safe area right now with our products, which make us a really good candidate to, again, be able to have a broad mass appeal without having to deal with state to state restrictions and a few other things. So right now we're going to go with, the plan, which I think is really exciting, is that we're not going to have restrictions on where our product can be. But those affiliations and partnerships as are all being thought of daily when you're talking about marketing activation. For example, there are all sorts of different parties and raves and concerts, and these are circuits that go on. Vans has Off the Wall, and you have the X Games. And those types of things where you're seeing the consumption, skyrocket. We want to make sure we're present as events open back up for the public as we move past this pandemic. But this is part of the game, the activation game that we play.
Okay. We're getting some questions. There's some people that have some distribution contacts. I always say, absolutely. If you've got some contacts for distribution, we're getting comments about Delta 8 specifically. It seems like there are people that have specific inroads into specific medical networks or physician networks or high-end boutique medical. Yes, please give us a call or send us an email at sales@thecampusco.com, and we'll be right on that and responsive to discuss that distribution. We have product ready to go and can expand that at a heartbeat. So every opportunity is welcome. Absolutely.
We've done quite a bit with healthcare practitioners and high-end spas. So if that actually presents an opportunity, we can help frame that product for that market. So by all means, let's have that discussion.
It's important that, look, the brand has got to maintain its edge, which is what made it very popular from day one. We're modernizing it. We're bringing what I like to call an unapologetic, sexy intelligence to it. We've got to maintain a sophistication within the brand. So again, you don't want to create a brand when when you start, we want to start at the top of the pyramid where we're perceived as a premium value versus, again, well, I should say premium brand versus a value brand, which allows us to talk to, you know, I would say the highest end celebrities, shops, retailers, and in that we're, again, a leader. And that's really important for us to maintain that position throughout all product development.
As we kind of sort of close, the big question, I think that's appropriate to just about wrap up on, is how do you capitalize all this? So, the projects that Lifetime has been involved in and adapting that to the launch of NoHo, it's a big endeavor. You're talking millions of dollars of activation and ad spend, and we're getting a lot of questions about that. We are considering various options. We have a private investment that we're talking to, and we're also being approached by a number of sources to do a secondary public offering, which will really expose the company to the capital that we really need to get this kicked off, and to fully fund the spends and the marketing program that Eric and Kevin and Lifetime has put together and that we've outlined. So through that process, we have access now. We're in conversations to approach capital in that arena with that kind of funding, and all options there are on the table. So that's certainly something we're looking at heavily, and we're prepared for. Let's see if there's anything else that's related to that. Biggest competitors for NoHo, 5 Hour Energy. Maybe you guys want to speak to that. I mean, go ahead. Eric, I'll let you take that if you want, or Kev.
Yeah, well, there's Morning Recovery, Never to Hangover, Riley Labs, Himalaya Wellness. I mean, there's a number of big hitters in the category, but it is a highly fragmented category, which creates an opportunity for us to gain penetration quickly. It's not controlled by a few really, dominant markets like in oral care. Pedialyte and Morning Recovery are probably some of the biggest ones.
Pedialyte's doing a great job, and we're always going to recognize the people who are doing great jobs, and we're going to figure out, why they were able to do, to grab their market share. Pedialyte, that's organic, beautiful growth after being around forever. And I'd like to think down the road we have, all sorts of opportunities like that. A lot of these companies that you see out there are building, are putting a product out. Again, this is really important. We're looking at building a long-term sustainable lifestyle brand that stands for something. When you think of Gatorade right now, you think of its athletes and its performance and its research and study. Then you go into flavor, and then, there's the brand. So we want to be thought of as a lot more than just a shot. And that's important. 5 Hour Energy is a shot. It's a product. And they've done a phenomenal job of growing that product. And again, we want to become a lifestyle. And so that's, again, trying to educate you the best I can in that category.
Yeah. And it bears mentioning that Coke, as well as Red Bull, had previously entered the energy space with all the product development resources and distribution. Doesn't get bigger than those companies, and they petered out and failed. They did get initial tries, but they thought that they could just rely on a ho-hum formulation, and that does not, no matter how big you are, result in repeat purchases. So when Eric's talking about sustainability, we spend a lot of time on formulation, because, and you'll see if people that are familiar with the first iteration of NoHo, that the new aftershot is way more complex with, a ton more ingredients, and the way they interact. It's formulated very carefully, and we are getting very, very good response anecdotally to the pre-market testing for the product that we've put out into some testers before the launch. So we believe that we can compete with anybody, that NOHO now with the growing shareholder base is in a position to raise the capital that we need to play with anyone. We will look bigger and better than companies out of the gate that are way bigger than us at the outset. And we'll have a product that will be able to compete on any level with anybody at any time. So leveraging that's where it all starts, is a good product and a great team, and a team that's really been there and done that for multiple clients in multiple industries with a focus on supplements. So we have everyone in place right now that we were not able to say in years past. So we've come in an immense way with tremendous progress, and the table is really now set, looking forward to the launch and really growing and continuing to put out some new information very soon. Looking forward to display the site to you guys in the coming days, and follow up on everything we've touched on as these developments and relationships occur. Having said that, I think we're just past the hour. I think we've hit most responses to the high-level questions, and we'd like to continue to interact and engage with everybody. If you'd be kind enough to send us some emails. And this was our first experiment with the call. I think it went very well. We're looking forward to everybody's feedback, and we'll be breaking it down in the post call. And I like the format, and I think it's something that I anticipate doing on a more regular basis. So with that, I think we'll wrap up, unless anyone has anything closing they'd like to say, and thank everybody for your time and attention. We know you have a lot of things to do, a lot of investments, and we really do appreciate the time and appreciate your patience with us and the company to bring back the company back to life and a new product in the market.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for their time. Very, very excited about this opportunity and where we're at. It's we're in a great place right now.
Absolutely.
Right. Thank you, everybody. We're going to close the call. We appreciate it, and we'll be back with you soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye.